Good everyone, today's video, and today it's another sort of advice video. I got requested by this by Scott Clague for a heavy fighter tutorial. And to be honest, I'm one of few people that actually like heavy fighters. I know Heavy does, he loves his XP50 and stuff like that. And the problem is that a lot of players play heavy fighters completely wrong. Now what do I mean by that? Well, you'll see that a lot of players around, especially around the 3.7 region of Germany, UK, USA, and other nations that have heavy fighters, they don't play them right. They normally get involved with dogfighting and stuff like that, which these planes are not built to do. And some of them even spend their time hunting bombers 24/7 and don't even pay attention to any fighter aircraft that may be nearby. That's completely wrong. That is not how you should be playing these. Now, yes, you can hunt bombers in heavy fighters. That's sort of what they were meant to do. However, in War Thunder, you're not much used to your team doing that. You're going to want to engage enemy fighters for the most part. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would I say that? Yeah, I literally just said you cannot dogfight them. Some um, heavy fighters can actually dogfight, such as the Key 45s and the J5N1. Fair enough, the J5N1 locks up like a bitch, and obviously I'm going to be doing a review on that thing. But it's just one of those things. Like heavy fighters are more meant for boom and zoom attacks, and obviously we've got a good mix of heavy fighters in each nation. I mean, I don't think Sweden has any, from what I remember. I mean, you could count Big Sven as a heavy fighter, although it's not a true heavy fighter, as much as I'd love to say it. But if we go to the USA, we've got stuff like the P-38, you've got stuff like the P-61, the later model P-38s, and you've even got the Tiger Cat. If you go to Germany, you've got the 110s, the J88C6, and 410s, and the Do 2170, and utter shite. You've got the Do 335s as well. I mean, there's a good option of vehicles here to choose from. USSR really lacks in heavy fighters, but you've still got Peshkas and stuff like that, and other vehicles like that. Britain, obviously, you've got stuff like the Beaufighter. I would say obviously the Whirlwind, the Mosquito, and even the Hornet, possibly Brigand, but I've flown that thing once and I don't like it. I mean, I might fly it out a bit more, but I'll see. And it's really when you get to Japan is when the twin engine fighters start kicking up again, except for this part of shit. But even so, J1N1, I think that's a sub request actually, if I remember rightly. But you've got the Key 45 Co, various different Key 45s except for the TAG, because that thing's crap. But then you've got the Key 45 High, you've got the Key 102, you've got the Key 108, which a lot of people underestimate, and then you've got the J5N1, which we'll be getting a review on very shortly, as well as the Key 83. China just has a P-38, so you don't need to worry about that. And you've just got that many heavy fighters to choose from. So why did I choose the Whirlwind for this one? Well, because I wanted to bring out the Whirlwind a bit, because, well, I've pretty much played all of our heavy fighters. I could have chose the J5N1 to be honest, but the J5N1 is one of those unique birds that can actually keep up with single engine fighters in a lot of turns, well, a lot of maneuvers actually, except for turn fighting because the thing can't turn for hell. But with the guns that thing has, I don't expect it to. But the Whirlwind is one of those planes that is perfectly balanced. I mean, yeah, the air spawn could probably be removed and it'd be okay, but it's still one of those planes that a lot of people get wrong, especially the Mark 1, because obviously that's in the tech tree. I remember when that thing was 5.0, and I think this thing was like 4.0 or something like that. But to be honest, just see what suits your preference. Obviously, go around the various different tech trees. Like I said, I don't think Sweden really has a true heavy fighter. I mean, yeah, the B-18s are technically heavy fighters. You could, I suppose, you could class the J-21s because of their uniqueness or something like that, and their heavy armament. I don't bloody know. But for this example, we're going to be using the Whirlwind. And like I say, it's one of those things like you need to know when to disengage and when to engage. Heavy fighters require smart pilots. And the trouble is, especially on USA, well, USA teams in general, you're not going to get that luxury, unfortunately. But obviously, we're not in a US heavy fighter. We're in a British one because British. You got to have some British, haven't you? I don't know why I make such a big deal about that personally. So this match was one of those that I really couldn't understand how my team managed to fuck this up. This is a 3.7 down tier. Now, already, I know Hairy Feet's screaming, going, this poor bastard bought the boomerang and is actually dragging it out. Yeah, he doesn't do much. Good reason. But you can see on the enemy team I mean, you could class Mr. Quackers as a heavy fighter, I suppose. But you've got the BF-110, the Do-217, J1, you've got another BF-110. But if you look, two of their planes, them lot, are loaded up with bombs. The 217J1 I can sort of understand, but the 110F2, no, that thing should not have bombs on it. That thing should be a purebred fighter, all the way. So I'm going to try and keep this nice and short. But obviously, as you can tell, the whirlwind climbs really nicely. Obviously, I think this thing was first flown in 1936, and to be honest, it was very good for its time. But obviously, in War Thunder, you fight shit like the BV-238, the LA-5FN if the Germans have it, which that poor bastard spent his money on, and things like that. So I leveled out here at 15,000 feet, thinking, what should I do? Like, and obviously you can tell this is a very short battle. Let's just say it doesn't end well for my team. Now, normally I don't like going for Sparvieros, but I'm sorry, Simple Jack 33927. I was hunting for footage for this tutorial. I'm terribly sorry, buddy. Well, I say tutorial, it's more like advice. But I'm terribly sorry, buddy. You had to go. I'm sorry for you. First kill. I didn't want to do that, but obviously it's just one of those planes that SM79s, I mean, one of the community choice polls didn't even get, or the SM79 didn't even get a single vote, which I felt sorry for it. I was going to vote for it myself, because obviously I can't actually vote on the polls, but I was just going to vote for it myself, but then I eventually, because obviously I like to vote as well, because, not to like imbalance it, like, the vote I normally choose is the one that's the underdog, to see if maybe the underdog might get chosen. But even so. So I'm coming in on XI Finchy, and this A36 is not very useful at all. As you can tell, he just flew straight. And that is an E7U2, and I knew immediately, yep, he's going to be good. He's going to be a good pilot. I don't really want to mess with him if I can avoid it. But obviously, as you saw there, I didn't follow him through that turn. I know I couldn't, because otherwise I'd either A, snap the wings off, or B, just not work out at all. That P-51 there has just been smoked by that HE-111, by the way, folks. He was not very useful to the team. He's our second 3.7? Yeah. And he's died doing nothing by tailgating a HE-111. I think the HE-111 drags like 3 of my team onto him. And I think he gets a second, well, he crits a second, I think. But obviously at this point, this P40 actually does something useful with his life, and he baits the 1 and E4. Which, well, grand target ammo. Works like a tree. But I'm not engaging that 109 in a turn fight. I know I can't. But obviously, that P40 lost all of his energy. And there's really not much I can do to help him at this point. He was already dead before I even got guns onto the 109E. And obviously an E7 will run rings around you. Most fighters at this BR will run rings around you. And look, 2 of my other team are engaging this 111. And can I just point out, this 217's already fucked. He's lost his tail control and everything. But this VG retard and this boomerang, who, well, the boomerang is actually dead. I believe. Yes, he's crit him. No, he's actually set him on fire. It's even worse. And these 2 retards have done absolutely nothing for the team. So what? You killed a freaking bomber. Whoop-de-doo. But what use was this guy to my team? I tell you, he wasn't useful. So at this point, I'm thinking, what should I do? I've lost sight of the 7 for the moment, because I broke off him temporarily to obviously gain some altitude. But there he is again. But you can see I'm in a dire situation at this point. My team is doing absolute shit. The D520 that's over here, he's just been flying around the airbase, just like he doesn't even know. Like, in fact, what was he chasing? He was chasing a BV, for crying out loud. Why chase a BV in this? I never liked the D520, fun fact, folks, but out of all the planes to engage, you chose a fucking BV. Like, fucking hellfire. So at this point, I've clocked a dot. And I'm thinking, XI Finchy's dragging me to him, and sure enough, it's a 202. What I didn't know at the time, until I saw it, like up close and personal, is that it's an EC with the 20mm guns. Experimental Cannone, something like that. That's how it's pronounced, or something like that. I don't fucking know. I don't know Italian. I mean, one of my friends is part Italian, as I keep mentioning. I could maybe see if she knows it, but I don't know how you fucking say it. But as you can see, these two boys are at my altitude. The one on E7 is continuing to climb. And, well, what can I do here? Simple. I'm faster. So I'll keep it that way. Obviously, I'm doing slight turns here. You can see I'm not doing a sharp turn to head towards my airfield. I'm keeping it nice and gentle. And if you're outnumbered 2-1, folks, and they're at your altitude, just run. Chances are you can outrun them in a heavy fire. Especially the Whirlwind. I mean, the Whirlwind's not the best heavy fighter. I'm going to say that right now. But it can still outrun. It is a very good aircraft for that job. But you can see I'm in a dire situation. There's a 110C7 here who has just got wheels up after rearming. And, well, he's going to have a fun time if the rest of my team didn't do so hot, is all I'll say. The A20 has actually done something for the team, so thank you, Mr. A20. But the VG retard from earlier, yep, he's done nothing, and I think he's actually crash landing. The D520, he is doing the exact same. It's funny enough how the French pilots are doing absolute shit. That gives you an idea of French capability, shall we say. That's a French joke, by the way, because obviously they love to surrender. But yeah, at this point, I'm just thinking, fuck this, I'm out. And I'm going to leave it here because, well, nothing else really happens. I get back to my airfield, I land in J out. The 202 tries to vulture, but fails spectacularly. It was actually rather funny. But yeah, I really recommend people learn their heavy fighters, take it into a test flight, take it into a custom battle, and just see what it can do. Get some practice. Never go into a new plane without any knowledge of it. It's like whenever I unlock a new plane, like when I unlocked the RA 2005, I spent nearly 40 minutes test flying the thing, seeing what it could do, seeing what it couldn't do, and then I took it into a battle. That's my advice. But yeah, I hope this helps out some people. Obviously, it might not help out some. That's fair enough. Everyone has their flying style. But heavy fighters are very temperamental. So you have to learn them first. They're a lot more temperamental than something like this E7, so just take that into account. Single engine fighters are far easier to fly than twin engine, in my personal opinion. But if you can get a decent twin engine going, you can give the enemy some hard time. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all on the next one.